Kongers endure pan-frying heat with the mercury soaring to a record high of 36.9 degrees Celsius. A hiking trip has ended in tragedy after a man dies from suspected heat stroke in Taikoo. And residents call for a new building maintenance authority to tackle old building repairs, an idea Chief Executive John Lee says worth exploring. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Chu. The city has baked through its hottest day on record, with temperatures soaring to a searing 36.9 degrees Celsius at the observatory's headquarters, the highest since records began in 1884. Jamie Liu has more.
Scorching heat from the sun radiated through a cloudless sky onto a Mongkok playground and the skin of players. Even though the display read 42 degrees, a group of footballers were absolutely on fire and kept the match going. For this group of players, their love for volleyball only grew stronger as the mercury pushed higher. But some surrendered to the heat and had to be carried away. This came as the observatory detected 36.9 degrees at its headquarters in Tsim Sha Tsui, the highest since records began. At Victoria Park, domestic helpers battled the sweltering heat with slices of watermelon and chilled fruits. Beaches continue to be a popular spot for many seeking relief from the heat wave, with some seizing the opportunity to get a nice tan. To kids, the heat meant a fun afternoon of splashing in the water and plenty of sandcastles. But it was no fun for outdoor workers such as janitors, who had to endure the high temperatures. A cleaner says she was aware of the amber heat stress at work warning and would take a break if she felt dizzy or unwell. A union questioned why the alert was only the lowest tier even at 37 degrees and called for a review to the warning system. The extremely hot weather in Hong Kong is fueled by the sinking air around severe Typhoon Dolphin. The mercury pushed to over 37 degrees in many districts, with Shing reaching 39.8 degrees, the highest recorded in the city since the observatory installed automatic weather stations in the 1980s. The heat is to grip the city through Tuesday. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
A man in his 60s has died after collapsing from suspected heat stroke while hiking in Taikoo this afternoon. Experts stress that hot and humid conditions create severe hiking hazards, warning that even healthy individuals remain highly vulnerable to heat-related illnesses. Quentin Yang reports.
Rescuers were alerted around 2 p.m. after a passerby found the victim unconscious along the Plover Cove Reservoir Country Trail. The government's flying service airlifted him to hospital, but he was pronounced dead en route. The tragedy unfolded as the city sweltered under extreme heat, though many outdoor enthusiasts remained undeterred and continued cycling and trekking through the park. Veteran hiking coach Sunny Learn warned that hiking is strongly discouraged when temperatures exceed 30 degrees Celsius and relative humidity reaches 80 to 90%, as high humidity prevents sweat from evaporating, severely impairing the body's natural cooling mechanism. For those insisting on venturing out, he recommended choosing shaded routes with access to water. Meanwhile, family doctor Lam Ming-Wa cautioned that heat exhaustion can strike anyone, not just vulnerable groups like the elderly or chronically ill, urging hikers to stop immediately, seek shade, and rehydrate at the first signs of heavy sweating, thirst, headache, or fatigue, before conditions turn fatal. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
A fire broke out at a flat in Taikoo, Shing, sending 16 people to hospital.
Some residents were overcome by smoke and needed oxygen masks to help them breathe. They were taken to Rutonji Hospital and Eastern Hospital for treatment. More than 30 people fled onto the street, while some 20 others escaped to the rooftop to shelter from the thick smoke. The fire erupted at Begonia Mansion in Taikoo Shing's Harborview Gardens at around 3 p.m. reportedly after an air conditioner caught fire. Firefighters deployed a water jet and a breathing apparatus team, bringing the blaze under control about an hour later. The cause is still under investigation.
Typhoon Dolphin made double landfalls in the mainland Zhejiang province at dusk, first in Taizhou and then in Wenzhou, prompting the National Meteorological Center to issue its highest level red alert. The severe storm is set to hammer the eastern coastline with torrential deluges, with localized rainfall potentially reaching 500 millimeters. Quentin Yang tells us more.
Packing force 14 winds, Dolphin slammed into Taizhou's Yuhuan at 20 kilometers per hour around 5:30 p.m., churning up high waves across the sea. Reporting from the storm front, a reporter struggled to stay upright against the howling winds. The city had seen gale force winds raging river currents early in the morning. Local authorities issued urgent warnings against dangerous wave watching after a 9-year-old boy was swept into the sea from a coastal seawall while viewing the storm with his family. Search and rescue operations are currently underway, hampered by severe weather. Meanwhile, regional emergency responses have been raised to the highest level. Rescue teams and firefighters are patrolling vulnerable seawalls, while harbor defenses have been reinforced. Nearly 100,000 residents in the high-risk areas of Zhejiang and northern Fujian have been evacuated ahead of expected flash floods and mountain torrents. The 5 suspensions are also in effect, closing schools, workplaces, construction sites, public transport, and tourist attractions. Transport networks are severely disrupted, with nearly 60% of flights cancelled at Shanghai's Pudong and Hongqiao airports. Train services suspended and hundreds of vessels ordered back to port. The weakening system will push inland toward the northwest after landfall, continuing to dump torrential rains across eastern provinces through midweek. Dolphin's outer circulation has also battered Taiwan, where ferocious gusts have shattered heavy glass doors, spawned tornadoes in coastal towns, and torn apart indoor display booths in shopping malls. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
In other news, Chief Executive John Lee said he will publish Hong Kong's first 5-year plan by September, with the 2026 policy address to follow soon afterwards. This came as the city's leader attended another town hall meeting, answering residents' questions on the housing ladder, estate renovation, and electricity bills. Jamie Liu reports.
The 2nd District Forum was held at a Kowloon Tong school and with youth issues high on the agenda among the more than 100 participants. A woman urged the government to create a housing ladder that young people can actually move up on. Lee assured her that the government has been diversifying housing options, saying the northern metropolis will offer more land so flat sizes can be bigger. Some asked how the authorities would support young people in landing a job and industries getting the talent they need. District Councillor and eye doctor Jeffrey Pong warned that the northbound trend could intensify competition in Hong Kong's healthcare sector, leaving local graduates worried about shrinking opportunities at home. Lee pledged to expand the talent pool while supporting enterprises to adapt to market changes and create more jobs. A manpower demand study will be published this year. Moving on to group discussions, an engineer proposed setting up a dedicated body to oversee building renovations after the Taikoo fire exposed alleged bid rigging and corruption in these maintenance projects. The chief executive agreed the proposal is worth considering, provided the independent body could make sure residents pay a reasonable price, get professional service in return, and not being exploited. Responding to questions about the city's relatively expensive electricity bills and limited choices of green power, Lee said the government will look into expanding clean energy sources and possibly nuclear power. Speaking to reporters after the forum, Lee said he would unveil the first 5-year blueprint in September, with the policy address to follow as quickly as possible. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Financial Secretary Paul Chen noted that arts, cultural creativity, and major events are injecting fresh momentum into Hong Kong. From museum exhibitions to large-scale sports fixtures, figures show consumption and retail continuing to rise, reflecting a positive synergy between culture and the economy.
In his weekly blog, the financial chief spotlighted his recent visit to the Palace Museum in West Kowloon, where the Forbidden City and the World exhibition showcases more than 130 precious artifacts, including 18 Grade 1 national relics. Next door, the Ancient Egypt Unveiled exhibition has already drawn over 570,000 visitors since opening late last year, with related merchandise raking in over $30 million. Overall income of the Palace Museum and M+ Museum rose 22% last year, with venue rentals and creative product sales becoming key drivers. Chen noted that Hong Kong, ranked among the world's top 3 art trading hubs, is expanding facilities such as art storage at the airport and the new Arts Plaza building in West Kowloon. Meanwhile, the city also secured a 5-year partnership with Art Basel, making it the sole host city in Asia-Pacific. Major events also fueled spending. In the first half of the year, 1.75 million visitors joined more than 130 events, contributing $5.8 billion in consumption. Looking ahead, over 100 further events are planned in the second half of the year, including the Food Expo, National Day fireworks, and Hong Kong Cyclothon. Chen believes these festivities will add $3.3 billion in economy value.
8 prosecutions were recorded in the first month of the city's new arrangement allowing dogs into restaurants.
Around 980 eateries were licensed in the initial phase to welcome customers with dogs. The Food and Environmental Hygiene Department carried out 29,600 inspections and issued 77 verbal warnings. 3 restaurants repeatedly breached rules by cooking or heating food at dining tables and were served warning letters. 2 prosecutions involved dogs not properly kept on leads, while 6 restaurants without licenses were charged for admitting dogs. The department concluded that after 1 month, operations have run smoothly, with both restaurants and patrons gradually adapting to the new policy.
A fast-moving wildfire has expanded several-fold in one day across British Columbia and Canada, forcing some 20,000 people to evacuate overnight as the province declares a state of emergency. Quentin Yang, Beslan reports.
In Summerland, an inland town about 250 kilometers east of Vancouver, fast-moving wildfires have engulfed homes and forced the entire town to evacuate overnight. All 12,000 residents were ordered to leave as flames tore through the area. Police are investigating a possible death, but dangerous conditions have prevented rescuers from confirming the report. Nearby Peachland is also under threat, with thousands ordered to evacuate as the fire exploded in size overnight. Now covering some 100 square kilometers, the blaze is ravaging the Okanagan Valley, the country's second-largest wine-producing region. BC Premier David Abbey said firemen described the blaze as like a bomb going off, with the situation deteriorating so rapidly that some residents were trapped and had to be airlifted to safety by firefighting helicopters. Abbey noted that more than 100 wildfires are burning across the province, nearly half still out of control. Around 1,500 firefighters are battling the flames in scorching, bone-dry and windy conditions. The province is under a state of emergency, while Prime Minister Mark Carney said the federal government stands ready to help. Beslan Cable News.
Local star Siobhan Haughey has struck gold on home soil, powering to victory in the women's 100-meter freestyle at the Hong Kong Open Swimming Championships.